Imagine living in constant fear, looking over your shoulder every moment, knowing that someone out there is watching your every move. This was the terrifying reality for Dorothy Jane Scott, a young single mother whose life turned into a waking nightmare. But what started as unsettling phone calls would spiral into one of the most chilling and perplexing unsolved murders in American history. In this video, we'll dive deep into the haunting case of Dorothy Jane Scott, unraveling a web of mystery that has baffled investigators for over 4 decades. We'll explore the sinister stalking campaign that tormented Dorothy for years, examine the shocking events leading up to her disappearance, and reveal never-before-discussed theories about her killer's identity. But be warned, the details of this case are not for the faint of heart. As we piece together the puzzle of Dorothy's final days, we'll uncover a twist so unexpected, it will force you to question everything you thought you knew about this case. And by the end of this video, you'll be left with one burning question that has haunted Dorothy's family and investigators alike. Is Dorothy's killer still out there, watching and waiting for their next victim? Stay tuned to find out. The truth may be more terrifying than you can imagine. Have you ever felt like someone was watching you? That eerie sensation of eyes following your every move? For Dorothy Jane Scott, this wasn't just a feeling, it was her terrifying reality. In the early 1980s, Dorothy became the target of a relentless stalker who would ultimately claim her life. This is the chilling story of a young mother's nightmare and the unsolved mystery that continues to haunt investigators to this day. Welcome to Shadow of Fear, where we delve into the haunting case of Dorothy Jane Scott. Dorothy was a 32-year-old single mother living in Anaheim, California. She worked as a secretary for 2 stores in the area and was known for her kind and caring nature. Friends described her as a devoted mother to her young son, Sean. Dorothy led a quiet life, focusing on her work and family. But in 1980, her world was turned upside down. It started with mysterious phone calls. A man would call Dorothy at work, sometimes dozens of times a day. He claimed to be in love with her, but his words were far from loving. The caller would switch between professing his affection and making violent threats. He described what Dorothy was wearing that day, proving he was watching her. The stalker even threatened to cut Dorothy into pieces. Despite her growing fear, Dorothy tried to maintain a normal life. She didn't want to worry her family and friends. But the calls kept coming, becoming more frequent and more disturbing. Dorothy began to change her routines, hoping to throw off her stalker. She even considered buying a gun for protection. On May 28, 1980, Dorothy's life took a tragic turn. She was at a staff meeting when her coworker, Conrad Bostron, suddenly fell ill. Dorothy volunteered to drive Conrad to the hospital, along with another coworker, Pam Head. After Conrad was treated, the 3 left the hospital around 11 p.m. Dorothy offered to bring the car around while Pam helped Conrad. It was the last time they would see her alive. As Pam and Conrad waited, they saw Dorothy's car speed towards them. The headlights were so bright they couldn't see the driver. The car sped past them and made a sharp right turn out of the parking lot. Confused and concerned, Pam and Conrad waited for Dorothy to return. But she never did. The police were called, and a search began immediately. Dorothy's car was found burning in an alley about 10 miles from the hospital. There was no sign of Dorothy. The next morning, Dorothy's mother received a chilling phone call. A man's voice said, "I've got her," and hung up. This was just the beginning of a series of tormenting calls to Dorothy's family. The caller would taunt them, sometimes claiming he had killed Dorothy, other times saying she was alive. These calls continued for years, always from a public phone booth, always just before the family could trace the call. Despite extensive searches and investigations, Dorothy remained missing. Her case baffled investigators. Who was this mysterious stalker? Why had he targeted Dorothy? And what had happened on that fateful night at the hospital? Years passed with no answers. Then, in August 1984, a construction worker made a grim discovery. Dog bones and a turquoise ring were found near Santa Ana Canyon Road. Dorothy's family identified the ring as hers. A few days later, investigators found Dorothy's skull and other bones in the same area. After 4 long years, Dorothy had been found, but her killer remained at large. The discovery of Dorothy's remains only deepened the mystery. How long had she been in that location? What happened in the time between her disappearance and her death? And most importantly, who was responsible? Despite renewed efforts, the case went cold. The identity of Dorothy's stalker and killer remains unknown to this day. Her story serves as a chilling reminder of the very real dangers of stalking. It also highlights the limitations of law enforcement in the face of such persistent, calculated threats. Dorothy's case has inspired discussions about stalking laws and victim protection. In the years since her death, many states have strengthened their anti-stalking legislation. But for Dorothy and her family, these changes came too late. The shadow of fear that loomed over Dorothy Jane Scott's life ultimately consumed her. Her story is a tragic testament to the devastating impact of stalking. As we remember Dorothy, we're left with unanswered questions and a mystery that continues to haunt. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more true crime stories. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever experienced stalking or know someone who has? What do you think could be done to better protect stalking victims? Remember, if you or someone you know is being stalked, don't hesitate to seek help. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.